Digital 410 Productions proudly presents the What's in Your Head podcast.
Miller Lite
Digitized live from the Act
on a
Computer
Sunday
Studios in Cape Coral, Florida. It's the What's in Your Head podcast with your hosts Gordon and Don Abernathy.
What's up, OG5? Keeping with the tradition of the consistently inconsistent, we're doing a Sunday night show tonight. Sorry I didn't give you a heads up yesterday. You know, usually when we reschedule a show, I put a heads up on the old Facebook page, but, well, I didn't
Yeah,
do it.
we can blame this one on me.
Oh, yeah? What'd you do this time, you jerk ass?
Well, it was my 11th anniversary yesterday.
Well, happy anniversary, fellow.
So it was good. I forgot to tell you until the day before.
That's all right. It happens.
It happens.
At least you didn't forget about it, and your old lady would have had your ass.
Oh my God. Yeah, well, we sat around and watched Cobra Kai all weekend.
Fear has no place in this dojo, does it? Pain
watching it?
has no place in this dojo, does it? Arthritis definitely has a place in this dojo because I am now 65, doesn't it? Is it the same guy? I mean, I know Karate Kid's the same guy, but...
So, yes, the same guy who plays Johnny, that's actually who's running Cobra Kai. The script has been flipped. Let's just say this way. Now
So the old man's gone?
Pat Morita?
No, the original sensei, not Johnny. Johnny sensei.
Spoiler alert, although this thing has been out for a couple of years, so it's not a spoiler. Kreese does show back up.
Well, because I know when that show came out, Kreese was showing up like on Geico commercials and shit in his gi, so I just assumed he was on the show, but apparently not.
He's yeah, there's a lot of bad puns, but I tell you what, I enjoyed the series because it was very closely tied to the movie, the first movie anyway.
Mhm.
A lot of flashback scenes, a little bit of fourth wall going on too, which is appreciated these days. Self-aware. You think he's going to do something that Mr. Miyagi has done in the past with the old hands? Goes back and forth. You get that, and then he's just like medic. So so it was good. I actually enjoyed it. Katina loved it. That's what we did. I think it's 2 seasons so far, half-hour episodes each, give or take, and looks like they are definitely back. Was on YouTube Red. They got rid of their scripted shows, and now it's on Netflix.
So apparently they just weren't getting the
Viewership.
and the subscription base that they were anticipating.
Well, there's just so much out there, right?
Yeah, and
Between your Hulu, your Netflix, your Amazon Prime,
I often think about that. I understand the importance of competition because without competition, well, you get the government. And so if you want quality customer service, you need competition. But sometimes I sit around and I see the 38th home delivery food service, Big Jim Speedy Delivery. I'm like, is the first 14 not good enough? Do we need 33 more?
Why that, sir, is what we call oversaturation.
We have Amazon started their Carvana. And then there's another.
Is that Amazon that has Carvana?
Yeah,
now?
Amazon owns Carvana. That's who started that. And then there was another one that came out that has a delivery truck, looks just like it. And I just saw like a third. Now there's one called Vroom, does the same thing. It's like, okay, how many internet-based car delivery sales services do we need? It'd be one thing if it was like Chevy and Ford doing it, but like different companies just popping. It's like, how many do we really need?
There will be as many as there is until they start losing money.
Yeah.
Across the board. And that's just how it works.
I mean, once again, I get it. You go on Carvana and you think there's got to be cheaper prices out there. So you need, a couple more options to choose if you're into I don't know, call me old-fashioned. I understand that all models are the same. But the idea of buying a car sight unseen without a test drive, without seeing if there's a scratch on the dashboard or, the seat just doesn't feel right in your lumbar, I don't know if I could just anticipate dropping 30, 40 grand on a car without test driving it first. Yes, they have a return policy, but it's not as easy as they say it is.
Try before you buy it, man. It's the same with clothes too. I can't even order clothes online just because I'm like, okay, if it doesn't fit, which is a good chance it probably won't, because every size is like actually got a range of like 8 sizes, it seems like.
I know. Can we
You'll
not
order one thing that you're used to getting, and all of a sudden it's either way too small or way too big.
It's funny. I got the TV in front of me, and I'm looking through the ring light trying to see the TV so I can talk to you, but I'm getting blinded by the ring light. So,
Right.
but anyhow, yeah, it's like I understand we're all getting fatter, and we don't want our clothing to make us feel bad. But can we just get an
Yeah,
honest?
thus this, but yet they bring out skinny jeans.
Well, but I know, but can we not get an honest sizing? If I put a tape measure around my waist, and I'm a 42 inches, don't say the pants is a size 38 or whatever, just to make me feel better about myself. Which
It's like
men's, women's is
wor-
worse about that shit.
Oh yeah, it's like the world's worst redneck said. Yeah, it's close enough.
well,
Moving
and,
on.
And for
We're just
women,
we're gonna eyeball it.
you know, I got a 13-year-old daughter. We went school shopping, and we went over to the outlet store. And we went to
I'm
Guess, and we're like, you know, we're looking at these sizes. And I had to talk to the young lady who works at Guess, and she basically had to, in her mind, I could see her pulling down like a periodic table of the elements of sizing charts for women. She's like, okay, well, in our clothing, that size for juniors would be this size, and for you would be. It's like she's like doing all this on-the-site calculations. Like, can't we just be honest and say, okay, this size
No wonder they
represents
want more money. They feel like they've got to be scientists to figure out the.
well,
fucking-
they do. It's like, well, okay, your waist is 27 inches, so you wear a size 10. It's like, how about make it a size 27?
See, is that
because that'll make you feel
27?
bad about yourself.
Is that a size 0 Malaysian or is that a size 0 Venezuela, wherever it was made? Because a lot of these are made in various places right across the world.
Well,
So obviously the consistency is just not there.
naive
calibrated,
me
not there.
thinking, hey, a size 38 means my waist is 38 inches. And back when I got into the World War II stuff, I found a website selling new old stock skivvies, obviously underwear that had never been issued. Yes, it was
Jesus,
made in
they're fatter than I thought.
1944. Exactly. I ordered a pair of size 38, and they're like a size 25. I'd like to order a size 43 in new old stock skivvies from back in 1943, because you know the sizes. It's just like, can we not get an honest size? Amanda
Yeah.
says via Facebook live stream, every brand has their own sizes. It's very confusing. Once again, I think it has to do with trying to make you feel better about yourself. And by the way, this is the first time since COVID started that I actually had to wait in a line to get into a store. I felt like I was like outside a trendy nightclub. It's like they had the doorman with his iPad and 4 people walk out. How many in your party? 3? You're good to go. How many singles? No singles? Okay, please wait. We went to the Adidas outlet store where I got this hat. See my new fresh clean hat? Look at that.
So well, Papa's got to
It's
get something.
$8
when he goes school
after
shopping,
discount,
right?
man. $8 after discount. So gotta
There-
love that.
there
But
you
yeah, and so we're going around the Guess store and we're like, well, let's buy 1 or 2 things because the dressing rooms aren't open. And so we go up, we're talking like, oh, our dressing rooms are open. I was like, well, shit, that's. Carrie's like, well, they already got. I was like, don't worry, they can suspend the sale because I've been in the industry. I know they can suspend the sale and pull it up later. But you go into store A, there's no line, there's no doorman. It's come in, wear a mask, go around nilly-milly. You go to another store, there's a line, there's a doorman. Their dressing rooms are closed. You go to another store, there's a line, doorman, their dressing rooms are open. And it's kind of like we talked in the past. Are we doing this thing or aren't we? Are we pretending, or is this thing factual that we need to do these things? If I go to a drive-thru and hand you my ATM card, you use it and swipe it by your hand, and then you hand me my food in a tray, it's like, are we doing this or not? Shouldn't I have to put my debit card in said tray? You pull up a pair of tongs and stick it in there? I mean, come on. Can we
Go
get
to
on?
Taco Bell and you get these sealed for your protection sticker on it when it's
No.
folded over, and they got a hotel pan like that you cook with. And they hand it out to you in it.
Well, the seal for your protection is going back to our previous conversation about the food delivery service. They found out the hard way that the drivers were stealing French fries and nacho chips before the food ended up at the house, and so now we could act like we're kings, getting out the wax and this has been sealed by the king, and it hasn't been opened because the seal hasn't been broken. Of course, we can't use wax. And, what's that thing called? That it's their seal.
I don't know, but I'm just thinking it's sealed
I'm sure there's a name for that seal that they
wax sealer.
there's a
Stamp.
thing. Those of you in Facebook live stream watch me punch my hand. Mike Brumley, you're into history. What's that thing called that the kings would use to pound the wax on the envelope?
All I'm thinking is sealed like a bottle of
Maker's Mark.
Baker's Mark. God, I almost had
Which,
it
by
there
the way,
and
every
went
bottle of
away.
Maker's Mark is sealed.
Man, I
differently.
had to pull that drawer open and the word wasn't there.
And that's your drink. You got me drinking the Maker's Mark.
Actually, my drink is Jameson's these days.
Dad asked me how much kids' school clothing costs this much, and I jokingly said, about a mortgage payment. Just about.
And so, was it a bunch of families out there schlepping their kids around today?
Well, we had to explain to our daughter because she's grown up in the world of Amazon. She loves Amazon Prime shopping, and she's wanting to get all her shit on Amazon. We're like, I can get the same stuff at Staples, and they're having 50% off right now or tax-free for school. But it's
And you
not
can
the
walk and get a little bit of exercise.
we had to explain to her that Amazon's not manufacturing that shit, that just random people are selling it through Amazon's website. Amazon's basically a fancy, only thing that differentiates Amazon from eBay is the overnight shipping. Okay. And once we explained to
Or
her,
a fancy J.C. Penney catalog.
once we explained to her that there's actually TikTok videos of people going to retail stores buying shit marked down and then selling it on their Amazon Prime account at regular retail price. Once she realized that, then she was good with going out to the store. I told Carrie, like, why don't we just keep the Amazon boxes? Whatever
Okay.
she wants, we'll go out and buy. I'll throw in the box, tape it up, throw that shit on the front porch. Problem solved.
Morgan Long has answered your question. It is a signet.
See, we have smart listeners. I'm not saying Morgan Long didn't just go on Google, but he knew that thing is a signet. We need like Taco Bell signets. I want the wax, the whole
Maybe
9
that's
yards.
where- hold on, a little etymology. Is that where insignia comes from?
Ooh, perhaps.
Ooh, perhaps. Root word.
Insignia. Insignia.
Insignia. There you go.
I
may
think we
have
learned something here
today.
on the old What's in Your Head podcast. So, yeah, we did that. It was interesting.
I'm sure it was trying. How was your patience today?
No, we did that shit yesterday.
Oh, how was your patience yesterday?
That wasn't too bad. I mean, the good thing is we had one of Nugget had her friends with us, and she basically stayed all weekend. And so whenever Nugget's preoccupied with a friend, it kind of, let's just say, happy things happen. So there's less drama in the house. And so we took her shopping, which you feel bad that the kid has to sit around and watch her friend get all the school shopping. Last time we went shopping, we bought the kid a few things just so, well, boy, I get to stay at night at your house and go out and watch you get new shit. And, but anyhow, she did that. And it was good. And then we went to the beach again today, back to Sanibel. We only went there for 2.5 hours today. It was
Any rednecks with buckets for
no,
sand
there,
dollars?
there was no cultivating of harvesting of sand dollars. Well, first and foremost, Nugget wanted her friend to see the starfish, and so we went to the starfish side of the island. But
They weren't done.
with all this shit out in the Gulf,
Yeah.
it was like a calm California beach day. We actually had waves today. You could actually go out there and try to body surf. If you're out there where the you're kind of floating around with your head above the water, and you weren't looking, you'd get smacked and actually get waves over your head. So it was a quote unquote rough day in the Gulf of Mexico, but it still wasn't big enough to do any surfing. But there were white caps and there were waves breaking, it actually made it fun. We had a great day. We were just floating around
Good.
the waves and
And
getting smacked
unlike
in the head.
Southern California beaches, there's no hypodermic needles, and
True that.
the water's a lot warmer.
If you guys want to talk to us, give us a call. You can see the phone number down there at the bottom, 239-232-4419. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. If you're taking your kids school shopping, how's that going for you? Give us a call. Let us know. Oh, boy. Yep, so did that today. I've been doing this weird thing lately. It's like the third time I did it.
No way.
We dropped off her friend, and we were coming back through the neighborhood. And I saw a house where the flagpole, that one of the little white ones like you get at Lowe's, it has the 45-degree angle, and then it's got the straight-out one.
Yeah.
It was screwed into the fascia of the garage at the peak, and apparently the wind broke it. And so the flag got snagged on a shingle, and the pole was basically upside down. And so the flag was essentially flying upside down. And I stopped the car, and Nugget looked at me. She's like, "Are you going to go fix that flag?" I said,
You
"Yeah." So I got out of my car, went and knocked on the lady's door.
Now, did she TikTok you in the background? Oh, my dad's so embarrassing. He's going to go fix this guy's flag.
No, because if she would have, you would have already seen it on TikTok. And I got back in the car. I said, "Why didn't you film that shit?" But yeah. So I go knock.
You're supposed to be on the clock.
Right? I need a camera person. So I went and knocked on the lady's door, and she opened the door looking all, I was like, your flagpole broke. Can I assist you in taking it down? I'm nice and tall. And so I went over there, and I got the flagpole, and I pulled it out of the socket, but the flag was snagged. And so I tried to gently, and she said, "Well, we just put the flag up there," but the flagpole mount came with the house. They just moved in not too long ago. So I took the flagpole and brought it up correctly and was trying to gently push and pull the flag out. And I was like, "Do you have a ladder or anything?" And she's like, "I got a step stool inside." I said, "Well, here, hold the pole so it doesn't hang the flag and rip it." And I went over and she had like a 4-step stool, and I got up on top of it and gingerly finally coaxed the flag out from it. Basically, the wind snagged it in between two shingles. And so we got it out and took it off, and I got in the car, and I was like, "I thought you were going to fix it." I'm like, I did fix it. The mount's broken. I don't have a drill on a ladder. I just don't.
You gotta whip out the fucking.
But I had to explain to
toolkit,
her.
get your gun on.
I had to explain to her the meaning of an upside down American flag and why it was important not to have that thing flying upside down. So we had a nice civics lesson about that. The last time I did that prior, we were actually driving through the campsite. We were coming back from a store because we had to go get more firewood, and one of the camper flags was all wrapped up and kind of funky. So I stopped the car and got out and fixed it. But yeah, it seems to be my new thing now is take care of other people's American flags. And I told the
Hey
lady,
Nugget, it's 10 a.m. on Saturday. You know what that means? It's flag detail. We gotta go and cruise the Cape.
well, I told the lady, I said, so many people, so few people are flying flags now that when you see them, you don't want to, you hate to see them in disarray or especially flying upside down because it was essentially flying upside down. So yeah,
We don't want that.
we stopped and fixed it, and but yeah, especially with all the craziness going on in the world, we need to respect old glory.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Do, 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 do.
So I was in Lowe's. Was it
I'm
last
sorry.
weekend? The weekend before.
You getting an attachment for your bidet? Maybe
No,
stronger,
This is something else.
like pressure wash
Oh.
level, clean it right up in one shot.
You're just jealous.
I am jealous. You'll never have to
Oh.
worry about another toilet paper shortage.
So I see a homeless guy.
Uh
and
huh.
I'm noticing more around, and of course, the first of the month is supposed to be when the moratorium is lifted here gradually to for evictions in Nevada on rental. And
Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry,
I have
Amanda.
been
She told me to carry a drill next time. Apparently, I failed in my attempt and my job of righting the world's American flag problem.
Well, don't you got that box in the back of your truck?
Yeah, but if you keep the drill in there in a 90-degree weather, do you think the battery's going to be charged up
No,
when you go to
no.
need it? No,
It's
you
gonna
got
go have all sorts of weird shit.
And
all
plus,
over
we were
that
driving the
too.
Volkswagen. If I had my truck, I would have just backed up in the driveway and stood on the bed. But no, we were driving the Volkswagen. I don't take the truck to the beach. I don't want sand in it.
Well, that's funny because I actually was thinking you had the truck, and why didn't you stand on it? So
No, we took the Volkswagen because it's a lease, so nothing parties like a rental. So why not get all the sand in that one before we turn it in instead of my truck? But yeah. Besides, the truck has genuine Naugahyde. Actually, so does the Volkswagen.
yeah, Carrie, we know where his mind's really at. He's
Yeah,
gotta
she
protect
said that
truck.
today. She's like, "Oh, I won't take my car because you don't get sand in your truck." I said, "Well, that and the Volkswagen gets better gas mileage, and I don't want sand in my truck."
More importantly, I don't want sand in my truck. Don't you
No.
have rubber floor mats?
I have WeatherTech floor mats in the front, but I got factory floor mats in the back. Whoever owned the
Ah.
truck previous to me, I don't know if I ever told you, it did come pre-Rhino liner. So my bed actually has Rhino liner in it, Line-X, whatever brand he used. So he went on out and got the
Fantastic.
Rhino liner and the front WeatherTech floor mats, but he cheaped out on the
Couldn't it-
backwards.
Obviously, it was just two people max in that vehicle most of the time.
And the weird thing is he put Rhino liner in it, but I think he had a tonneau cover on it because at the front of the bed, underneath the window, there's like silicone still on there, which I was going to spend a bunch of time with a razor and scraping it off. But once I put the toolbox on, hey, can't see it from my house. So problem solved. Let the next guy deal with it. Oh.
Let the next guy deal with it.
I did something I haven't done since 1999, and it saddens me. But I'm older now. I don't get angry and punch shit anymore. I
Did you
curb
punch something?
checked and scratched my rim. I gnawed it up pretty good.
Ah, boy.
I was
They fix those things.
I was sitting in a bank drive-through, and the lady in front of me was taking forever, and I realized the next one over. And so I'm so used to driving the Tacoma, I'm used to that turning radius. So I backed out, turned in, and because on the Tacoma I had those Nitto Terra grapplers that stuck out a little farther than the rims, I heard the tire kind of going on the curb, and I was like, I went for it, and it got a little louder. I was like, ooh, that sounded like metal. So I did my job, pulled out, looked at it, I was like, well, now I
Motherfucker.
justify replacing these rims. But no, it's like, oh, fuck, that sucks. When I did that on my Ford Escort, it actually fucked up bad enough that they had to put counterweights on it to balance the tire. It's pretty
Oh,
bad.
wow.
Yep. That's sad. It makes me angry, but what are you going to do? Damage is done. No pun intended.
Well, you can get it fixed, but I don't know how much that costs.
We were talking a few episodes back about how when you move to new locations and you start to immerse yourself in the culture, you change a little bit.
Yeah.
And I went to drop off, pick up a server, which I got to drop off tomorrow morning. And the customer was waiting on me, and he traded in a Chevy for a Dodge Ram, but he had a big ass utility trailer on it, and he had like a 1985 Toyota 4Runner all jacked up with these huge mud tires on it. It's a mud truck, and I was backing out, and I said, I want a mud truck. No time in my life would I have ever told myself, I want a mud truck, but I've been down here so long, you know, I've immersed myself in the culture, and it would be fun to have a mud truck. I want a mud truck, especially an old Toyota 4Runner. This thing was all like painted like army green. It was like had a lift kit on it and had these huge, big ass tires on it. You know, he's out there having fun, tearing up the, probably going on
like
the
a
Naples.
back road beater, right?
Yeah. Nice mud truck. I want a mud truck. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be nice. But damn, trucks are fucking expensive these days. Even the regular ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still truckless.
Truckless.
But hey, that is that.
Oh. Speaking of trucks, I put a video on up on one of my social medias about Bailey's trip to get a treat. Nugget
Yes.
and I took Bailey to get a treat out at Culver's. And we're driving through the line, and, you know, we didn't want to take the food home to get cold, but I didn't want to eat it in the truck with the dog because the dog would be up on the console trying to steal.
Well, and to be fair, cheese curds, because I know what your snacks were. They're best hot. They're
Yeah.
best served hot.
And so we pull in a parking spot, and if I told the story I don't think I told the story last week's episode, no. So I was like, well, hey, they had picnic tables, but once again, you're going to have her on a leash and trying to run up to everybody, and it's right next to the drive-thru, and don't want her running out in front of cars. I'm like, hey, I got an idea. Let's eat in the back of the truck. And we got a nice toolbox we'll use as a picnic table. So I put Bailey in the back of the truck. She's going to town on her pup cup, having the fucking world's best day. She's eating ice cream, and Nugget's up there eating her food. And I'm noshing down on my burger, and I hear, "Sir, promise you a nice night out." And I look up, and there's a guy. He walked over. He's probably in his late 60s, early 70s. Now, I understand.
Take it, he was behind his ass. That's why you're behind.
Yeah, and I understand, fella, that back when you're a child, it was probably quite common to have picnics in the back of pickup trucks in some fast food joint. And I said, excuse me? He goes, so you promised her romantic night out. You're doing a good job. In my head, I'm thinking, hey, Swerve the dirty perv, she's 13 fucking years old.
What the fuck's wrong with you, dude?
And I just looked at him like, yeah, okay. Now, keep in mind, he walked up and had his hands on the side rail of my bed of my truck, like we were friends. So, you and the old lady having a nice...
You're all shooting the shit, right?
Yeah, I'm 42. I promised my 13-year-old sweetheart a romantic dinner out at fucking Culver's with my dog. But to give him the benefit of the doubt, he almost kind of realized what he was saying as he was saying it. That's why I think the first time it was like, oh shit, but he still committed and went with it the second time around. He could have said, oh, from afar she looked older than she is, and so he goes inside and gets his food, and him and his wife are over there eating, but they keep staring over at us. It's like, I was like, maybe he's like walking over here, giving her the opportunity to call for help, because, you know, I am white, my daughter's Hispanic. Maybe they thought I kidnapped her or something. I don't know. But they kept looking over at us, and then when we're leaving, she's cleaning up the trash, and she's taking it out to the trash can, and they're like following her, like, and like watching her get back in my truck. We're like, well, that's fucking weird. Get the hell out of Culver's. Hey.
I don't trust this white boy. There's something. He's shady.
The funny thing is, we took her and her friend to Sanibel, and her friend's like Irish and super pale, and we're walking down the sidewalk, and Nugget goes, they probably think she's your daughter, not her friend. And I said, the funny thing is your mom just said the same thing 2 minutes ago, because we were like 30 yards ahead of them. And I said, yeah, I thought the same thing when we went to Walmart last night. But yeah.
Joke's on them.
Yep.
Absolutely, joke is on them.
Yeah, a creepy dude at Culver's. Hey, you promised your young lady a nice romantic meal out. First and foremost, fella, even if she wasn't 13, your idea of a romantic evening is eating cheese curds in the back of a Toyota Tundra with a fucking Boston Terrier when it's 92 degrees out. You and I have a completely different idea of romance. But then again, he took his wife to Culver's, so I guess that was their romantic night out too. And he was just looking for someone to share in the fun. Welcome to my group.
Fine dining this evening, folks.
Hey, it was a McDonald's,
Going to
so it was
Culver's.
fine dining. Culver's makes a damn good sandwich. You know, that would be a good taste test. If you want to, you know, when Bill from the Unsupervised podcast was on, we were constantly busting his balls about his bad palate and how the fact he thinks Taco Bell makes good tacos. I think an honest way to do a hamburger taste test blind would either A, just to get the patty, no bun, or B, get them all plain so that the different condiments and special sauces don't affect the flavor. Because when I talk about quality of fast food, I'm talking about the quality of the meat itself, not why you put Thousand Island and 4 pickles and tomatoes to hide the taste of the shitty beef.
Well, also you gotta not sleep on the quality of the bread.
Yes. Well,
That's
the thing is,
very important.
when I was, you know, I'm eating bread now, but when I was diehard into my weight loss, one of the things that got me there was I cut back on my carbs during the day. I knew that I really couldn't do anything at night because I couldn't force my diet onto other people in my household. So, but when I was out at work and eating lunch, I would either go to Publix and get Sausalito turkey and cheese and shred it up, and I'd call it scraps and just eat it with a fork, no carbs. Or I would go to Wendy's and get the junior bacon cheeseburgers, no mayonnaise, no bun. And so what Wendy's does, they'll put a lettuce on the bottom, put the hamburger, the bacon, the cheese, and the tomato on top, and a piece of lettuce. And so you realize how much of the flavor of the meat the bun mutes out. It's like how, you know, you can like, oh shit, there's meat in here. You can actually
It's a
taste the
big
salt
juice
and the
sponge,
grease.
right?
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it definitely helps out. Amanda wants to know, who are you to even approach people in their cars? Like I said, Amanda, you know, he was an older gentleman. I'm sure back when he was in high school, that's where they all did. They all went down to the local place where kind of like Sonic, but before Sonic existed, where they all had the car hops and the chicks on the roller skates and all that, and they would sit in the back of their stepside Chevy sharing a malt. Yep. Probably living the glory days vicariously through me and my young gal. Plus, in his day, it was perfectly legal to marry a 13-year-old.
Oh,
It's the truth. For all you people saying kids, young girls mature a lot quicker. No, they don't. They were having kids at 12 in the 1700s. I mean, it's just it's your viewing of time and history. So no, it's not all the shit in the meat. But yeah, back in his day, it was probably legal to date a 13-year-old fucking sicko. This went south real quick.
back in my day, we had cheese curds in the back of my Model T.
You ever try getting a Model T or Model A?
I probably can't.
No, you can't. The seat. Whenever you see those guys driving around the hot rods, they got to move the seats back like 3 feet. Even like the Willys Jeeps when I do World War II reenacting, a lot
I
of
think
those guys
if I
move
was
the seats back.
amputated at the knees, I still wouldn't be able to
It's-
fit in there.
Yeah, it's not a comfortable ride. I'll tell you that. They were definitely a lot shorter back in the day.
Makes me think of those shitty little Model T rides at
Kings Island.
Kings Island on the track.
Yeah, the tracks
the
you
wheel
can't
just
get
spun
over.
around and just
Hey, they were fun, man. We were down for the cause back then.
yeah. Yes, we were. So
Oh, I cut it.
Dodge,
Go ahead.
Dodge has got a new truck out there now, and
Oh,
it's
yeah?
got a 700 horsepower engine in it.
Now,
One
didn't
after
you
the
say
Raptor.
that the Ford Raptor was increasing the size of their engine?
Rumor has it that it's going to get the Shelby GT 100 or 100 GT, and I do apologize if I mess it up. And that's going to get it well over 700 horsepower.
Well, is that why they're doing it? To compete with the Dodge?
I think they got to. I know a guy who's a Raptor owner, and he's got first gen, and he goes, they need to do something because they've been dicking around with this Ecotec 6-cylinder version, and just killed. People love the sound, man.
Yeah.
Which is funny. This guy also drives an electric car. I'm like, well, do you pipe in some sound?
I heard for a
But-
while that they were considering doing that, make an artificial sound for safety for pedestrians because you couldn't hear the damn things, but apparently that didn't
Yeah.
fly.
Well, it's interesting. I've been in a few Teslas, and you hear the wheels. You hear the wheels on the rocks in the road.
I
And
was
it
watching
makes me think of riding a bike. It's a
Oh.
lot faster.
I was watching a mechanic's TikTok, and he was saying because of the weight of the batteries, those things go through tires quicker than your conventional car.
And they use a sport tire if you get like the S model. So
Yeah.
it's a low mile tire anyway. It's like 20,000 miles. Super grippy though, which you need for that kind of power
Mm-hmm. And that kind of weight.
and that kind. Well, the weight actually will help with the. There's a friction offset there. I'm no scientist, but yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Now, you and I were Red Hot Chili Pepper fans back in the day,
Yes.
and I kind of unfell in love with them during one hot moment when Dave Navarro joined their band and completely destroyed
Yep.
it.
That was it. Actually, Blood Sugar Sex Magic started to wear on me after a while too.
Well, yeah, but that's because we're elitist assholes, and we didn't like the fact that the unwashed masses were now becoming aware of Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Under the Bridge was on every
Kinda weird.
goddamn song, and Give It Away was all over the place. But you
Would that be almost
honestly can't
pre-hipster?
deny that it was a good album.
Yes, it was a very
We
good
just
album.
didn't like it that now everybody was in on the secret. Granted,
Yep.
it was nothing like Uplift Mojo Party Plan or Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Mother's Milk. It didn't have that funk sound to it, but one could say if it did, their band wouldn't have survived and gone on to the great things that they did. You know the song Around the World? I know it's true.
Yeah.
Now, I know they recorded this a while back, and I don't get offended by things. I don't know if we need to play this, but I guess it really wouldn't hurt.
Hi, my name is Tom McDonald. Welcome to the show. If you are easily offended, then you probably should go.
So, we know in 2020 everything's touchy, especially when it comes to cultural appropriations or making what some younger cats would deem racist comments about other or even stereotypical sounds.
Absolutely. Actually, to think about that, and not to take you off topic, but Cobra Kai, there was a whole you're culturally appropriating the Japanese culture bit in there. So absolutely.
Well, in that song, because it's songs about around the world, I don't know if Anthony got lazy writing that song. I don't know if he's speaking Mandarin Chinese, and I just don't know it. But there's a part where he goes, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, doom. You know, he's not, unless he's speaking legitimate Mandarin Chinese, which I don't think he is. I'm just surprised that no one's edited or changed that part for radio play, because I heard on the radio the other day, it's like, some young cats might find that offensive. It's like the audible version of blackface, ain't it? I mean,
Yeah. Although I
in
don't think
today's
there's
culture, we are.
Yeah, I don't think there's much pushback yet on the Asian cultures with the cultural appropriation.
I don't
As much-
know when Joe Coy was on Adam Carolla doing his bit, and Joe Coy is Asian, as we know. When Adam Carolla went on an NPR show, they went after him about it. He's like, "That's not me. I'm not doing that voice. It's
So-
an Asian comedian." So when they thought it was him talking like that, they wanted to hang him out to dry. But when it turns out it's an Asian comedian, they were fine with it. And
Well, and that's actually made me think, hearing that story and stories like this, when there's a mixed race person like Joe Coy, he's actually half Caucasian, half Filipino, and he makes fun of an Asian race. Do they actually blame that on the white side?
what's that now? Oh, sorry, somebody's messaging.
So Joe Coy's half Caucasian,
Yes.
half Filipino. So would they be blaming it on the white side for that joke?
No, they just somehow say, well, he's just doing it to pander to Adam Carolla because he thinks it's funny.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, no, I just heard on the radio, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up getting censored out or making a radio edit before too long. And speaking of which, we were driving home today and we were listening to Pandora, and the Eminem song Slim Shady came on, but it was off his greatest hits and not the original LP.
Okay.
And in parentheses, it said, no, it wasn't even that song. There was another song. It was another hip-hop song. And in parentheses, it said explicit, but they even censored out the word ass. It's like, how are you going to put explicit on here when the version of the song you're playing has even the word ass edited out of it because it was like a top teen 40 station or whatever? It's like,
Well-
if you've already censored out all the cuss words, you can't see the less than offensive phrase ass. Do we need the explicit tag put on there?
Well, is explicit just for the bad words, or is it explicit about the content and the meaning behind the songs?
And that's funny that you say that because they will edit out minor words like ass and damn, but then the content of the song are talking about some pretty grotesque shit if you get offended by that sort of thing. So it's like, why even play the song? But yeah. And on that topic, how come Eric Clapton can sing about shooting deputies but not sheriffs, but you know, Ice-T wants to sing about cop killer and they take the shit off the shelves back in the day. Remember that?
Yeah, wasn't that a Bob Marley song?
Well, see, I always thought it was, but I heard on the radio and Eric Clapton was singing it, and Carrie said it was an Eric Clapton song. So unless he's doing a cover that got more popular, I always thought it was Bob, because it sounds like Bob Marley. But
Hold on.
I'm not.
I always thought it was Marley.
I always did too. Now Eric Clapton may have covered it, but it sounds just like the song we grew up listening to. Maybe this will be one of those. This is a good category. Songs that you thought were sung by other people, it turns out never were. It's kind of like the Mandela effect, where you think somebody was in a movie that never existed. You thought somebody sung a song and they never did. Did Bob Marley ever sing that? Did he write it? Did he cover it? Or was that always an Eric Clapton song?
It is a Bob Marley song.
Okay. Yeah.
Written by Bob Marley in 1973.
What year did Eric Clapton cover it? Maybe the Clapton version got more radio play because that was the version that because when I heard it, I looked on it, it said Eric Clapton. I was like, I thought that's a Bob Marley song.
I think it was a cover song. I think it was in the 90s too. To that, and I'm actually looking it up right now.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just talk about double standards. I shot the sheriff, but I didn't shoot the deputy. Hey, let's all sing along. I shot the sheriff. Fuck the deputy. I didn't shoot him. But you want to rap about cop killer? Nope. I'm sure you can talk about the context of the songs a lot more harsh, but still, I mean, on the face value of it, they're both songs talking about killing law enforcement. But then again, it's 2020. They'll probably welcome that song on the radio in Portland right now.
What's interesting is I see I Shot the Sheriff from the album 461 Ocean Boulevard, 1974 by Eric Clapton.
And when did Marley sing it?
73 is when it came out.
So the very next year, he culturally appropriated it and stole it and sang it. And that's probably why it's the version where...
I mean, this is just Google research. It's nothing to be taken home or taken seriously. But yeah, that's
because I'm sure the Eric Clapton version got more radio play in the Midwest than the Bob Marley version.
Oh yeah. You're absolutely right. Yeah, that is who I shot the sheriff.
Well, I got a couple of topics here that kind of coincide with news. So why don't we just do a long version of the news? You can do your stories, and then I can jump in here and there with my stories, and then we'll make an abbreviated episode. Not that we're too abbreviated. I mean, shit, we're already 43 minutes into this thing, so it's not like we're. Oh, by the way, this episode of the What's in Your Head podcast is brought to you by our friends at Computers, as you can see over there. See, I'm doing like the whole weatherman thing. I'm not used to which side to point to. Like you can see over there, Computers has been providing IT solutions for all of Southwest Florida since 2004, and people over the internet since like 2008. So even if you don't live in Southwest Florida, give them a call at 239-283-1120, and they can remote into your computer and help you with all your issues that way. But if you do live in Southwest Florida, they can help you with network expansions, footprints, Wi-Fi, computer repair, laptop repair, server work, network administration, all that good stuff. Give them a call at 239-283-1120. And right now, give them a call, same phone number I just said, and talk to them about the online backup, especially with everybody working at home and all the malware that's going out there right now. You really want to make sure your data is safe and backed up on the internet. They can help you out at 7 cents a gig per month. Give them a call, 239-283-1120. They can help you out with antivirus as well. And while you're on the internet, head over to d-410.com or what'sinyourhead.com and click on that beautiful Patreon link. Sign up for Patreon. It's $1 a month, and you can get exclusive access to videos and podcasts, which as of right now, Morgan Long, you need to go to Patreon, and so the rest of the OG5. There is a new audible and video version up of the OG5 podcast, episode 3. But as you know, there's a hell of a lot more than 3 episodes because, fun fact, the What's in Your Head podcast was the original Patreon podcast. But once we had a format change here, we just brought it to the light. And we need to get on the ball bringing you guys more content. And if you are a member of Patreon and OG5, send us a message. The free stickers are still available. I'll still print you up one and ship them out to you guys. But yeah, if you enjoy the podcast, and by the way, welcome to the new listeners. Our ratings last week went up dramatically. I got to give Gordon the numbers when we get off the air here. I'm super excited about the numbers last week. We're slowly growing, and we're always looking for advertisers too, by the way. So if you're interested in advertising, email us at info@d-410.com or go over to d-410.com and click on the Contact Us link, and you can do that. Sorry, I had to burp. It's the beer.
It's the beer.
And also, I made it easier to find our merch. So if you go to d-410.com, click on the merch link, and it'll send you to the store, and you can get all your shirts, like the What's the Scuttlebutt podcast shirt I'm wearing right now, and all that fun stuff. And yeah, thank you guys so much. And by the way, head over to our YouTube channel and click on subscribe. I got some new videos coming up there. Oh, that's what I want to talk about before we get into the news. Today was day 3, so I had a very busy day. Obviously, I went to the beach. But I got up at 10 a.m. and went back over to Morgan Moose Wright's house. He wasn't there, but he has gracefully gracefully allowed me to go train on his Ninja Warrior training kit. And there's videos on YouTube about, and if the power goes out, it's lightning and thundering out there. It's Florida, but anyhow, whenever they're this morning, and I worked on some of the stuff you've seen in the past videos, the monkey bars. There's a gap at the end. I can make it all the way through the whole thing, and then there's one area where one bar is missing, and you got to kind of swing and make a jump, and I just can't make that final jump, but I am getting better at that. And then the upside down ladder pole thing, which you guys have seen before, but the thing that I did today, which I'm excited about, on the side of the gym going up, he has basically what's those ring screws like you screw into like a post to hang shit on, the ring with the nail, the screwy job thing. Boop. You know what I'm talking about? It's basically a loop with a fucking thread, a screw attached to it.
A lag bolt.
Yeah, with loops. Well, anyhow, he has them in the side, and you got these plastic rings, and you go over while hanging. So you're full, in my case, 220 pounds, and you're hanging. So you got to lift up, go over, hang, and traverse your way over. I made 3/4 of the way on that, which is